On May 7th, the CFPB released a notice of proposed rulemaking that would make several major changes to the way debt collection is done. Today we're going to outline 5 of the most major changes that are outlined in the proposal. The first has to do with the number of attempts a debt collector can make to a consumer during a given time frame. This proposal suggests that a consumer cannot receive more than 7 calls per account per week from a debt collector. It goes even further to say that once they've had a phone conversation, there can't be another phone conversation for another week. Right now, thousands of lawsuits are made based on incorrect language used or questionable language used in validation notices. This doesn't really serve the consumer and obviously doesn't serve the collection agency, so it's great to see that there could be clarity coming out of this. In the proposal, it says that a validation notice would have to include, first, itemization of the debt and where it came from. Second, exact instructions using clear language for how the consumer can respond to the debt. For example, they can choose to dispute the debt in writing before 30 days passes. And lastly, a tear-off response card that the consumer can fill out and send back to the debt collection agency, either electronically or in print. The third provision has to do with text messaging and emailing, which right now hasn't really had any definitive regulations surrounding it besides a couple of court cases here and there. In this proposal, it says that text messaging, emailing, and voicemails can be used as long as they provide an opt-out for the consumer so they can say, I would prefer not to be contacted via text message or via email, what have you. The fourth provision introduces something called a limited content message. For this proposal, debt collectors would be able to call relatives, employers, whoever, and say, this is their name. I'm trying to reach that person's name, and I'm calling regarding an account. You can call me at this number during these hours. And that's all they would be able to say. The last provision prohibits lawsuits or threatening lawsuits against consumers who are delinquent on their debt. It also says that the debt collector would have to communicate with the consumer before they change anything regarding the consumer's credit score. So before they communicate with the credit reporting company, they would have to let the consumer know they were doing so first. Those are the 5 points that we believe will have the most effect on the day-to-day operations of collection agencies, should this pass. But we want to know what you think. It's a hefty document, but some people are saying that it's the biggest piece of legislation regarding the collections industry in a generation. And we believe that it's really important that we're able to understand it, especially if it does pass.